Hey everyone, I've got my sack full of makeup just like I told you I would. It's all from Walgreens and I'm going to show you all of it today. Walgreens and CVS are exploding with new products. And I've got Wet n Wild, I've got a Jordana lip gloss, I've got Physicians Formula, and I've got Maybelline as my foundation today. So where should we start? Let's start with some of the little one-off things that I got. First of all, Physicians Formula RefreshMint. This is a new sort of an under-eye balm. It says it has cucumber and bamboo and it is an eye depuffer. I've been using this for the last couple of days and I love the idea of a balm for your under eye area that you put on and maybe use sort of almost as a primer for your concealer and for your other makeup. It doesn't have any sort of color to it. It's not super shiny. It really is just like a clear balm for under the eye area. It is supposed to depuff. Now, I don't ever have puffiness under my eyes, but I have severe dark circles under my eyes, and I feel like when I use this, it makes those worse. I don't think it's just from the rubbing or the application of this under my eye. I feel like there's something in it that like immediately as soon as it contacts, it's making my under eye darker, and I don't need that. I don't need it for depuffing, so therefore this may not be a good product for me. It doesn't have any kind of smell. It's not like a scented lip balm or anything like that, and I had thought maybe applying it as a depuffer as they market it, you would think it might have like a cooling feeling as you're applying it. It doesn't have any of that. So while I really love the idea of sort of a primer for under the eye that's in a stick like that, I don't like having to pull and drag it under my eye like you have to apply it. I can rub it on my finger and pat it in, but I just don't think it's doing much for me because I don't need the depuffing. Something else from Physicians Formula I have on right now. These are the Healthy Lip Velvet Finish lip lacquers. The color I have is called All Natural Nude. I have that on right now. These are very whipped and creamy feeling. You put them on, they are very nice and opaque. And they dry down to a matte look, but it feels very moist. It's very moist on the lips. It doesn't feel like it's drying you out. And this lasts a long time on the lips. I might get a few more colors in this because I really like the formula on them. They're not feeling dry. Nice. I just had to grab this. These are the Jordana Cosmic Glow Holographic Lip Glosses. The color I got is called Iridescent Purple. I just had to grab it. It's just so pretty. It reminds me of another glitter lip like this that I got recently from Milani. Let me put this one on. It's just a purple duochrome to green lipstick. I don't know why, you know, I just am really drawn to these. I really will probably never wear something like that all over my lip, maybe in the center of my lip. It's just pretty to look at. Sometimes you just have to buy an inexpensive drugstore holographic lip gloss just because it's pretty to look at, not really to wear. Let's compare it to the Milani Stellar Lights I got that is very similar in color. Let's see. Milani Stellar Lights. It's exactly the same. Oh my. Now I have two of them to look at and stare at and never actually apply. They're exactly the same. Okay, Maybelline has come out with another Master Chrome by Face Studio. This is another metallic highlighter. So they've had one out for a while in this that was a very golden. It was an intense brassy gold. And it was just a little too gold, too brassy for my skin tone. I love that they've come out with one called Molten Rose Gold for pale girls like me. I'm going to put this on for you guys. I already have a little highlighter on right now from Cover FX, but it's more of a subtle one. Oh, that one's very like a peachy pink. Look at that. It's a very peachy pink. I'll just put it on right over that more subtle Cover FX one. That is pretty. Oh, I'm so happy they came out with a pink one. That other one was just so deep. Such a deep bronzy color for me. So pretty, Maybelline. Good job. It's very smooth. It's not glittery at all. It's not duochroming or anything like that, but it's just a pretty smooth pink highlighter. It's a very neutral pink. Let's put some on the back of my hand. Oh, it feels nice. Wow, when you touch it with your finger, it is just satiny. There it is. That's rose gold for sure. Very pretty rose gold. Okay, foundation. This is the Maybelline Superstay Full Coverage Foundation. It says up to 24 hours. And the color I have is number 110 Porcelain. I am really that pale. So this is a super long wear foundation and I want to give it a try. I put this on today. This is the first time I've worn it and I have to say it is very nice on. It is very smooth. It is not super dry and matte looking. It does not look heavy over my lines. I have been trying out a bunch of high-end, very expensive full coverage all day foundations lately and I have to say that this one is just as good, if not better, than those ridiculously expensive ones. I will check back in several hours and let you know how this one held up, but it is just really, it is just really comparing well to those high-end foundations that I've been using and not really liking, because by the end of the day they're evaporating and getting greasy and getting cakey. And they look very dry when I put them on. They're very matte when I put them on. So I'm going to give this one a try. I would certainly rather have a full coverage all day foundation that does not last all day, but is less expensive than those high-end ones I've been putting money into. Because we are going to look at the new Wet n Wild palettes. These are replacing Wet n Wild's larger 8-pan palettes they used to have. One was called Comfort Zone, they had another one called Petal Pusher, and then they had a third one that was mostly blues, and I can't remember the name of that one. I never got that one because I'm not really that into blue eyeshadow. These are all new from Wet n Wild. Here are all 4 of them. I've been trying these out throughout the past week. I've tried 3 of the 4 on my eyes. I have 1 of them on today. And we're going to compare one of them to the old formula. It says these are a new formula and a new look. I was noticing on the display that they did say on there that they've been reformulated to last longer and give a richer payoff, richer color payoff. We're going to look at the one called Comfort Zone compared to the older Comfort Zone. That is one that I still have after all these years. I don't have Petal Pusher anymore, and it is a very purple palette. It's not going to compare with any of these. None of these are a purple-based palette. What I have on today is Comfort Zone. So I will show you how I put on Comfort Zone. I'm going to show you some videos from wearing Nude Awakening and from wearing Rosé in the Air. This is the Comfort Zone one. It's a very sort of comfortable colors. It's got some nudes in there and some greens. And what they've done differently on these palettes, the way they're set up, is you now get 2 transition colors on here. They know now that we like to do our transitions with a nice matte color that's very pigmented and that blends out very easily. They know now that we like to do sort of a double crease with a bigger area with a lighter color and then a deeper color in the inner crease. They know that now, so they have changed up these palettes. You've got 2 that say transition here. You've got a lighter one for a larger area and then a deeper one for more of an inner crease. Unlike the old palettes, they don't tell you brow bone, crease, highlighter, anything like that, but you do have your 8 pans in there. I love that they have done this transition thing on here. We love our transition colors now. Here's what the old one looks like. It's just 8 pans. They got rid of the little sponge applicators that used to be in here. They don't have that anymore. Some of these colors are similar to the new one, and we'll look and see if they're any different in their texture or anything like that. I love the improvements that they've made to these. Now, as far as the color payoff, the long wear, etc., I'll tell you how I feel about that on the 3 palettes I have tried out. First, let's compare Comfort Zone Old to Comfort Zone New. You, of course, have your 2 transition colors, which are absolutely beautiful on the new one. One is sort of a berry shade, and then you have your 8 pans. I wore this color on my lid today. This sort of very green here, very grassy metallic-y green. I wore this color here as my highlighter. I wore this amazing duochrome metallic, look at that, on my outer corner. You know that's my favorite part of the whole palette right there. And then in my very outer corner I put some of this deep forest green black metallic. Look at the glitter in that one. Here's what the colors I used on my eye today look on the back of my hand. Look at the nice richness of these 2 transition colors. Now let's look at the old comfort zone. This is really old, and as soon as I'm done with this video, I'm probably gonna throw this one in the trash because it's old. So here's this limey sort of green in the old one. It feels soft. I would say it's even a little softer feeling than the new one, but the new one has more green in it. In the old one, here's this cool duochrome color right here. Very, very soft feel on that one. It's softer. It's softer. I don't know if it's because it's been used. It's probably because it's been used, but it has more tone to it, a lot more tone to it, doesn't it? Highlighter is about the same on both. This one they call Definer. They're about the same, those two. This is the new one, this is the old one, about the same. I didn't use that plum on my eye today though. And then this deep green, the Deep Forest Black Green is absolutely gorgeous. This is the old palette next to the new one. Those are really, really comparable. They look exactly the same really to me. So I don't know about the reformulation. When I put these on my eyes though, I feel like they have a really rich color payoff except for one of the palettes. The one palette I don't think has a rich color payoff and I don't like at all is Nude Awakening. That's this one right here. It is a very nudie pink, neutral sort of plummy tone one. I wore this in a previous video and everybody said they really liked how it looked, but I just felt like it was muddy and yucky, and just the colors were very muddy. They just were very bland, very muddy, and there wasn't much color payoff, I think. Let me show you Nude Awakening on the back of my hand. I just don't feel like in that video that I did I just don't feel like that it was very pretty on it, and it really seemed to fade throughout the day. There's a couple of the colors from it. That is Nude Awakening. It looks pretty, but I don't know, maybe putting this one on with a finger makes it look a little more intense. I know I must have put it on with a brush because I always use brushes. So I think that's probably, it needs to be put on with a finger or something. I don't know. I'm just not thrilled with these, the color payoff on these. It looks good on the back of my hand, but on the eye it was not sticking. It was just not that thrilling. Rosé in the Air is a beautiful palette. We've seen a lot of these same colors together on other palettes with the really bright orangey, rusty colors, this beautiful pumpkin-y transition color, and this gorgeous fuchsia-y red. This reminds me a lot of the Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance. Reminds me a lot of those kind of tones there. This is another one that has some rich color payoff. It's very pretty. This one doesn't look as impressive on the back of my hand, but it went on the eye really pretty. I think it just turned out really pretty, and it's got all those hot current colors that everybody's loving. Here's what it looked like on. It went on just really nice. These transition colors that they've put in here just blend so beautifully together. They've done such a good job with that. I wasn't going to buy these palettes at first because I thought, oh no, no more Wet n Wild multi-pan palettes. I looked at them in the store and they looked to me kind of chalky in the pan. They looked kind of not all that exciting, not all that pigmented. I wasn't excited about them, and then I started to see people swatching them on their hands, and they had really pretty rich coloring to them, and I thought, well, I'm going to give them a try. So I bought all of them. I actually went to Walgreens the other night and I did the full display dance. My husband was laughing because they had a full display of. Okay, the next one is called Not a Basic Peach. I have not tried this one out on my eyes yet because I feel like it's very summery. I just kind of don't want to get into these kind of colors yet. Here are Not a Basic Peach. This one is just bleh. It will not adhere to anything. That is this color right here. Won't adhere to anything. Some of these are a little on the flaky side. That's just the formula of these. I don't like this light blue. I want it to be more pigmented. I want it to be used. I want to be able to use that as a liner under my eye when I do finally wear this. So I don't really like the blue. It's very wimpy. And those are the new big Wet n Wild palettes. I'm going to get back to you guys in a few hours on this foundation. I think it's going to look pretty good, actually. If it does dissolve, like the other ones have been doing, the high-end ones, then at least it wasn't $50 or $60. Okay, it's been about 5 hours and this foundation is holding up actually better than the more expensive foundations. I do have blotting of my mascara under my eyes, which is what happens when I don't put a lot of powder under my eye. Then my mascara melts onto my concealer. I'm trying to put a little bit less powder under my eye so that I don't look quite so dry under there. But that's nothing to do with the foundation. The foundation is doing really well, I think. Got a little bit greasy. I've been patting with tissue here and there, but it's not real breaking apart as much as right through here as a lot of the more high-end long-wear foundations. So my favorite really out of all of these long-wear foundations that I've been doing lately. That's kind of saying something. So after this, I'm going back to my good old hydrating feeling rich BB creams and CC creams. I have a Lancome BB cream out that's new. I'm going to try that out tomorrow. So I get to go back to my nice comfortable BB creams and stuff like that. So I'm excited about that. No more long wear for me.